NGI Mr. Jessica Wasa, respected teaching staff at NGI Mr. Arun sir, and all honorable Peak Academy certified teaching professional creators. A very good morning to you all. I'm Mohammad Faridul Islam from Bangladesh Golf Federation, certified Peak Academy golf coach from NGI and head coach Rampur Golf and Country Club.
Something here.
My presentation topic is short game and the contents are over here. So before I start my presentation, I would like to express myself to all of you that with respect, I may not be able to memorize all things in one sequence, or I may not be able to cover all aspects of short game within this given short time. So I need all of your help and support to complete the presentation here. And if you have any question, I'll be there to answer you after the presentation is finished. So will you help me, my friends?
Yes.
Thank you. Okay, here we go. At first, I would like to start the presentation with importance of short. Short game has always been very important to the golfers because more than 50% of the shots are played within 100 yards area around the green, and almost 70% of the shots are made by the shot. From those, 30 to 50% scores are goes on putting. So if a golfer improves the short game, ultimately the golfer increases the ability to reduce number of putting strokes as well as improve the entire score of the whole game. Example according to the tour players and high handicap golfers. Tour players on the PG and European tours hits approximately 13 to 14 degrees per round in regulation figure. This means 8 to 9 times in every round they need to play a chip or shot to save their putt, as well as save strokes. Similarly, high handicap golfers hits 4 to 5 greens on average in regulation figure in a round. This means that high handicap golfers wish to play more shots on the short game, almost in every to save par, and actually depend upon the quality of short game a golfer has. Type of short game. Actually, there are maybe 8 types of short game we play from around the green without putting. Those are chip shot, pitch shot, chip and down, wedge shot, high lob shot, bump and roll, greenside rough, and greenside bunker. Including some special shots and unusual conditions like very light, floppy light, then hitting from the soft weight ground condition and hitting from the divot. These all shots actually requires a golfer to get the ball as close as possible near to the hole from any of those situations or lie that the ball rests around the green. Shot plan and calculation are really therefore very important to achieve desired result, and it depends upon the situation and information on and available on and around the green. Every shot in the short game requires accurate judgment in total 6 ways, and those are distance from the ball to hole, distance from the greenness to the hole for the ball to break or roll after it lands, ball line, type of swing selection, type of club selection, and landing area. Okay, now we are going through the specification of each shot. Actually, I set up the specification of each shot with a very simple manner what I learned from these world-class recent teaching professionals during my DLC. Those, what is the shot, when to play the shot, and how to play the shot. I actually maintain this method over here. So we are going through the chip shot. What is chip shot? And when to play chip shot, and how to play chip shot. Chip shot is a shot played from the green edge or just a few feet away from the green when part is not possible because of some uneven surface in front of the green. So suggestion is here. Basically, chip shot is a low flight trajectory shot for a short distance over the fringe and roll longer than it does in the air after it lands on the green. Last lofted club 6 to 9 irons are used. Process, setup and swing for the chip shot. Setup. Grip normal, hand placement down on the club handle and arcade with slightly firm pressure. Stance slightly narrow, ball back in stance, weight more on the lead foot, left for right-handed golfer. Posture normal, shoulders parallel, hips and feet are open to the target. Shaft lean slightly forward to deal off the club face, arms hands from the shoulders and are relaxed. In swing, club face is quite intended target. Club path swinging along the chosen target line, angle of approach slightly stiff and descending. The ball should contact on the center of the club face before the ground at impact with appropriate speed. And this is the most important factor of any shots in the short game, not only short game, any shot in the golf. The club should contact on the center of the club face before the ground with appropriate speed. The most important factor of the shot game. It's a hand and arm only swing, no action is needed over here. Chip and run shot. I want to show you a video.
I don't know where
It is not running.
It won't work. It wasn't working.
Okay. Chip and run shot, which is played from around the green where the ball needs to land on the green edge or just in front of the green. Then the ball runs to get onto the green and moves to the hole, towards the hole. Suggestion: when the flag position on the green according to the ball location or lie creates such a situation where where chip or P shot does not save or support the player to land the ball directly on the green, then chip and run can be the better option to get best result. Medium lofted clubs like 72 pitching waves irons are useful. Process to play this shot. Setup. Grip normal. It's almost like your chip shot, but I'll explain. Grip normal, hands placement down on the club handle, grip pressure slightly firm, distance less than full width, ball position slightly back in distance, weight more on the lead foot left for right-handed golfer. Posture normal, shoulders parallel, hips and feet are open to the target, arms hangs from the shoulder and are relaxed. In swing, the club is square to intended target, club path in angle of approach is stiff and descending. Ball should contact on the center of the club face with appropriate speed. Pitch shot is a high trajectory shot played from around the green, where the ball travels longer time in the air as compared to roll after it lands on the green. Suggestion: lofted club like pitching or sand wedges are useful. Process to play this shot. Pitch shot. Setup: grip normal, hand placement down on the club handle and target with light pressure. Distance less than full width. Ball position in the middle or slightly back in the stance, with more on the lead foot left for right-handed golfer. Posture normal. Shoulders parallel, hips and feet are open to the target, arms hangs from the shoulders and relaxed. In swing, club face is square or slightly open, club path in angle of approach, slightly steep and descending. Ball should contact on the center of the club face before the ground with appropriate speed. It should hinge at the backswing as much as required. There should be a positive acceleration with same length backhand throw, but should transfer from the rear foot to the front foot while releasing the club. West shot is a high trajectory shot played from 10 to 80 yards area around the green, where the ball covers long distance in the air before it lands on the green. Suggestion: pitching sand or lob wedge are useful. Process to play this shot. Setup: grip normal, hand placement down on the club handle and a grip with light pressure. Distance less than full width, ball position in the middle or slightly back in distance with more on the lead foot. Posture normal, shoulders parallel, hips and feet are open to the target, arms hangs from the shoulder and are relaxed. In swing, club face is square or slightly open, club path in angle of approach slightly steep and descending. Ball should contact on the center of the club face before the ground with appropriate speed. Backswing at 90 degree and follow through at least as long as or greater than the backswing, which should transfer from the rear foot to the front foot while releasing the club. High lob shot or flop shot is the shot played from short distance area around the green, where the ball fly in a higher trajectory and cover the distance between ball to the green edge in the air and land softly when it is top earth. Suggestion: when the whole location on the green is very near close to the green edge and there are some hazards like bunker or the line came into play in front of the green, high lob shot or flop shot is the better option to get best result. But before decide to play this shot, ensure there are enough grasses under it. Higher lofted club, lob wedges are useful. Process: setup and swing for the high lob shot. Grip normal, hand placement normal on the club handle and keep with light pressure. Distance as for a full shot, ball position in the middle of distance, weight should be evenly distributed between both foot. Posture normal and need to bend slightly more from hips and knees for lowering slightly more from both the body center and hand. Shoulders parallel, hips and feet are open to the target. Hands and body center are in line with the ball and the club head. Arms hangs from the shoulder and are relaxed. Actually, these all of my great videos over here. I'm not able to showing you. In swing, club face should head open to increase both loft and bounce angle. Club path in angle of approach shallow. Ball should contact on the center of the club face at the bottom of the swing arc over here. Backswing at 90 degree and follow through at least as long as or greater than the backswing. Ensure that the club face is still open through impact and pass through impact. The club should slide under the ball at impact. There should be a very less weight transfer from during swing, and the child leg should come up on the lead foot after impact. So bump and run, this one also another very good videos. Bump and run. Bump and run is the medium or low trajectory shot from around the green in which the ball needs to bump on the upward green side slope, then the ball jumps up, moves forward, lands on the green and rotates towards the hole. Suggestion: when the lie does not allow the wedges to slide under the ball due to very less grass or no grass available under the ball. Also, there are an upward green side slope in front of the green and very less space for the space on the green for the ball to break near hole. Then bump and run can be the better option to get best result. Medium lofted club like 7 to pitching wedge, iron side is useful.
So is there any difference between chip and run is the same or is it different? Only the slope you're talking.
Exactly, sir. Almost. Almost, sir. Exactly, sir. So, process setup and swing actually, whatever sir did, absolutely like that. So, I'm going over. Absolutely whatever sir did. Absolutely, sir. So, you going through, sir?
Yeah, you can skip it. Go to the next one.
Absolutely whatever sir did. Absolutely.
You want to see Thursday at the end.
Because sir is not a golf book to me, sir. It's a golf library. Sir is really golf library. How many of you are agree with me? So, Bankashwar, this is the only place in the golf course by rule where a player cannot put the club immediately behind the ball before actual shot. And also, greenside bunker is the only shot where the club face does not contact the ball directly at impact. Suggestion: sandwich or lob wedges are useful. Process: setup and swing for the shot. Setup: normal grip is taken after the club face is head up. Hand placement normal on the club handle and are kept with light pressure. Distance under shoulder width apart or slightly more. Ball position forward distance approximately 2 inches, which should be evenly distributed between both foots or lean slightly more from the upper body and body center moving ahead of the ball. Posture normal and need to bend slightly more from the waist to lowering from the body center and hands. Hands are in line with the club head and slightly behind the ball. Shoulders parallel, hips and feet are open to the target. Feet dig into the sand to get firm footage and stable base. Arms should hang from the shoulder and relax. In swing, club face should have open to increase both loft and bounce angle, club path in, angle of approach shallow. Backswing at 90 degree and follow through at least as long as or greater than the backswing. The club must entrance into the sand at least 2 inches behind the ball. Ensure the club face is still open through impact and pass through impact. The club must accelerate through impact with appropriate speed. Body weight and drive foot should come up on the lead foot after the impact. Playing from the green side rough. There are also a video here. Green side rough is the area around the green where the ball is sitting down some long thick grasses. Suggestion: when play a ball from long thick grasses around the green, higher lofted club will very early wrist hinge at the backswing and instead vertical up and down swing without much lateral movement from hand and body are required to avoid maximum grass comes between club face and ball. This shot comes out with a low trajectory and with a very less backspin, so it is safer to land the ball earlier and let it roll to get to the target. More lofted club, sandwich or low wedges are useful. Process to play this shot. Setup: with normal hand placement down on the club handle and keep with slightly firm pressure. Stance slightly narrow, ball position back in stance. Weight more on the lead foot. Posture slightly upright to stand a little close to the ball and to set the club shaft a little vertically upright to avoid the hustle start into the ground. Because in the long thick grass, hustle can easily start and twist over. Shoulders parallel, hips and feet are open to the target. Hands and body center slightly ahead of ball, hands from the shoulder and are relaxed. In swing, club face is square, club path in angle of approach, steep and descending, ball should contact on the center of the club face with appropriate speed. This should be a slightly more harder swing than the normal one for the same distance. There should be a positive acceleration with control of the club face because there are huge chance to twist over. Uneven lines. side is lie, ball below feet. Uphill lie, target side upward, and downhill lie, target side down. Uneven lie is that where the ball is not rest on a plain ground and the player has to contact some ups and down slope to make the shot called uneven lie. The main objective of the uneven lie is to need some adjustment to counteract the slope and to accommodate the swing. At the same time, weight balance is really very much important over here to get good club ball contact. Okay, siding lie, ball above feet. Ball above feet lie is where a golfer facing a ball above feet will see both his feet are below the level of the ball at rest. In other words, the golfer will be situated on a hill that is sloping towards him. Suggestion: when a ball lie above feet level, the ball flight tends to be hooked. The more the ball above foot, the more tends to be hooked because the swing moves more around. When the swing moves more around the body, the club face will move to get close much faster. Also, whenever the ball above feet, the club face tends to get an angle, upright angle, and the upright angle club is always pointing to the left. So that is another cause for the ball to move left. Process: set up and swing for the shot. Grip normal, hand placement down on the club handle and grip with light pressure. Posture slightly upright to adjust the ball height. Distance less than fluid. Ball position middle distance. Weight should be evenly distributed between both feet and slightly more to the toes. Distance of player from the ball slightly away from the normal setup. Aim and alignment right of the target. In swing, club face is square to intended target line. Club pass swinging around the chosen target line. I mean, chosen target line means this time is actually in square, meaning that angle of approach shallow. Ball should contact on the center of the club face approach. Side hill lie, ball below feet. Ball below feet lie is where a golfer facing a ball below feet. See, both his feet are above the level of the ball at rest. In other words, the golfer will be situated on a hill that is sloping down against him. Suggestion: when the ball below feet level, the ball flight tends to be sliced. The more the ball below feet, the more the ball will be sliced because the swing moves more upright. When the swing moves more upright, the club face comes less to square up at impact and the club face comes with a little open angle at impact. Also, whenever the ball below feet, the club face tends to get a flat angle and the flat angle of the club face always pointing to the right. So that is another cause for the ball to move right. Process: set up and swing to play the shot. Set up, grip normal, hand placement high on the club handle, distance a little wider than the normal, and also need to bend slightly more from both the waist and knee to adjust posture and golfer height to the ball. Ball position in the middle of stance, weight should be evenly distributed or slightly more to the heels. Hands and body center slightly ahead of the ball, arms hangs from the shoulder and a relaxed distance of clear a little close to the ball. At setup, aim and alignment left of target. In swing, club face is square to intended target line. Club pass swinging around the chosen target line, and this time also chosen target line means a little bit in a square hill. Angle of approach slightly steep. Ball should contact on the center of the club face with appropriate speed. Uphill line. The ground slope is upward towards the target. A golfer facing an uphill line will see his forward foot is higher than the ball and even more so than the level of his back foot. In other words, the golfer will be situated in a slope which is sloping upward towards the target. Suggestion: when the ball play from an uphill line, the ball flight tends to be hooked because the body will not be able to move and the hand will take over the swing. Tendencies are pulling, chunking, flipping and hitting behind the ball. In the shot, the ball will go lesser because the ball will go higher. One or two less lofted club like pitching waves are useful rather than the sandwich. Process: set up and swing for the shot. Set up, grip normal, hand placement down on the club handle and grip with light pressure. Distance should be under shoulder with apart or slightly more to balance yourself. Weight more on the lead foot, left for a right-hand golfer. Shoulders and spine should be perpendicular to the ground slope. Hands and body center in line with the club head or slightly behind the ball. Arms hangs from the shoulders and are relaxed. In swing, club face is square to intended target line. I mean, this time intended target line is right side of the target. Club path swinging along the chosen target line. I mean, in squaring this time. And angle of attack shallow, but need to be contact the ball faster than the ground. That must. The ball should contact on the center of the glove face with appropriate speed. Downhill lie. The ground slope is downward towards the target. Downhill lie. A golfer facing a downhill lie will see his forward foot is below the level of the ball, and even more so than the level of his back foot. In other words, he will be situated on a hill that is sloping down towards the target side. Suggestion: when play from a downhill line, the ball flight tends to be push or push slice because the body is getting ahead of the ball. When the body center getting more ahead of the ball, the club face gets an open angle and deload. The more the body center getting ahead of the ball, the more the club face will open and more deload. And the ball will comes up with a low trajectory and lands early. Tendencies are hitting behind the ball and topping. It is safer to land the ball shorter and allow more roll to get to the target. So higher lofted clubs, pitching sand or lob wedges are useful. Process to play this shot. Setup: grip normal hand placement down on the club handle and grip with light pressure. Distance with a little wider than the normal to get more balance. Ball position slightly back in distance with more on the lead foot. Shoulders and spine should be perpendicular to the ground slope. Hands and body center slightly ahead of the ball. Hands from the shoulders and relax. Aim and body alignment should be this time left of target. In swing, club face is square to intended target. Club path in angle of approach is steep and descending. The ball should contact on the center of the club face with appropriate speed. Wrist should hit earlier at the back swing, but the ground slope is up and
Ball above feet. Ball above feet.
Below.
target side down. Then different lies. Playing from a bare hardman or tight lie, playing from a wet soft turf under the ball, playing from a floppy lie, playing from a default. Playing from a bare lie. A bare lie refers to a situation where golf ball sitting up, a place where grass absent or golfer do not find enough grass under the ball and are platform under the ball. Suggestion: when the ball rests on a bare lie around the green, it is important to select a club which has less bounce under the ball. Example, which one has less bounce rather than the sandwich. And it is safer to play a chip and run or pitch and run shot from bare lie. Process: setup and swing for the shot. Actually, setup and swing almost same as for a pitch shot. Just need a little adjustment in setup, like stand slightly close to the ball to get upright shaft angle at address, which raise the heel of the club up to avoid bounce of the club comes into play. At the in swing, need to be a little early wrist hinge at the back swing to ensure that the steep vertical up and down swing without much lateral movement of the hand and body. And the club should contact the ball clearly before the ground at impact. Playing from a soft wet lie. Rainy season, we are available getting this kind of situations. Available. We getting the relief only 2 clubs away from the Caswell. When the ball rests on a soft wet lie around the green, tendencies are chunking and underclapping. It is important to select a club which has more bounce under the club head. Example: sandwich has more bounce rather than the pitching. Process to play this shot. Setup: playing from a soft wet lie is same as for a standard pitch shot. Just need a little more adjustment, like the ball slightly back in stance plus hand and body center slightly ahead of the ball during setup to ensure that the club will contact the ball before the ground at impact. In swing, club face should head open to increase bounce angle. Club path in, angle of approach shallow, ball should contact on the center of the club face before the ground at impact.